Sam Grady going back deep, and he is joined by Dan Land, 25. A lot of orange here in the stands, and we're ready to go in this preseason regular season, the start of 1992. Signed to get the ball into the end zone, and he did just that. Well, that's the first divot into the 92 season for Dan Reeves.
Yeah, maybe that's why you keep two kickers.
Jay Schrader, who's done very well in the past against Denver. He is 7-1 as a starter. He was a different quarterback in 1991 than he was in 1990. Here are his numbers of a year ago. That was the highest ratio, touchdown to interception ratio in the AFC.
And if the Raiders are going to get back to the championship game, they're going to have consistency out of the quarterback position. They did not get that a year ago.
From the 20. Smith and Dickerson in the backfield. It'll be Eric. And Eric gets 3 yards out to the 23-yard line, and Kenny Walker making the stop. Let's look now at this Raider offensive forward wall. Very good one. They have 3 All-Pros in Wisniewski, along with Mosbar and Montoya. Dickerson, Smith, Fernandez, and Galt. Galt's had an outstanding preseason for this team, catching 20 balls already. And they're facing the top defense of a year ago in the AFC, the Denver Broncos. They led in 12 different categories.
He hasn't done it consistently enough. And what they want to do, Art Shell has said he wants to do with Jay Schrader tonight, is have the running game control early on, even if it's a couple of 3-and punts. Don't turn the ball over early to this Denver defense.
2nd and 7 now for the Raiders after the delay on the field. It'll be Dickerson again, and Dickerson fighting for that first down. He needs to get to the 30. He appears to be just short of that. It'll bring up 3rd and a yard. We talked about the top-ranked defense in the. We'll watch that very closely. 3rd and less than a yard. Dickerson on his 3rd straight carry picks up the first down for the Raiders. He loves to get a lot of activity. And Pat, all your great running backs like to get the ball 20, 25 times a game.
Well, you're right, Gary. And see the line splits there. Good yard line splits by the Raider offensive line. 3 straight carries, as you mentioned. And it's on the 18th to 25th carry that you really watch running backs like Eric Dickerson, because that's when the big runs come from the great backs.
Dickerson, the single running back on a first down. Schrader attempting his first pass. Wide open on the far side was Willie Galt, but the connection not made. Brings up 2nd down. So Schrader, with the strong arm, had too much on that one. It'll bring up 2nd down 10. And the Raiders in this series in the last 5 years, their quarterbacks have thrown only 1 interception. Elway has thrown 7, and that's a big story coming into this game.
Well, that is the difference. Art Shell said yesterday we can't turn the ball over. We've won this game on turnovers, a couple of interceptions, and a fumble recovery for a return in the last game they played, as well as a couple of block kicks. The Raiders here are going into a no-huddle situation, which they've used some in the past. Although the Broncos not necessarily a big lot better.
All right. 2nd down now coming up for the Raiders. Split out. It's Dickerson, and Dickerson for 5, 6, 7 yards as he's out to the 37. Kenny Walker making the tackle.
Eric Dickerson and great runners all have a feel for how plays block. It's the rhythm of running. Just like passers get into a rhythm, offensive linemen get into a rhythm. You know where your blockers are going to be, but how does the defense react? And that's why Eric Dickerson is such a great 3rd and 4th quarter running back, has been in his career, because it takes a while for all those guys to get into that rhythm.
3rd down and 4. Is in motion. Schrader on 3rd and 4. Complete. The catch is made by Tim Brown, who's their big third down receiver. A 22-yard gain to the 41-yard line of Denver.
You know, it's kind of surprising because the Denver defensive back said yesterday on 3rd and 3 to 4. You're going to see number 81 right in the middle of the screen. 3rd and 3 to 4, Tim Brown is featured. Just a simple zone defense. It started with protection now. But what you like about Tim Brown as a quarterback there, he didn't drift off into Never Never Land. Came right down the line and cut off the ball.
And Schrader now without a huddle, setting the play at the 41.5-yard line. Dickerson, this is his 5th carry, and he takes it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. Dickerson was so good. People were questioning whether he'd lost his zest for the game, if his legs were still there. What did Archell say? We haven't seen him explode yet.
Right. But if he still gets to the hole, that's the issue. But again, I think he doesn't have to carry the load. Then they've got Marcus Allen, they've got Nick Bell. He's got a very designed part of the game that he is supposed to play.
2nd and 5. Dickerson with his 6th carry, this time in trouble. Good effort by Mike Kroll, who was there first. The outstanding 2nd-year player from Nebraska who read it well, and that's the first time they got negative yardage running right at this.
Teammates, and always seems to take the right angle. And when you take the right angle, you get to the ball carrier quickly.
Loss of 1 on the 3rd down now, and 6 are 2 of 2 on this series, and Schrader wants a timeout. So the Raiders will take time to discuss this one. No score from Mile High Stadium. 10:18 to go in this first quarter. The Raiders have been moving the football. Calling timeout. Archell, Terry Robisky visiting with Jay Schrader. One thing they want Schrader to do is show patience this year in running the team.
Yeah, they feel the defense is so good. They don't want to have him throw the ball into coverage like he did a year ago early in the season and put them. He's got a big arm, and he believes in his arm so much, but they're trying to get him away from trying to do it all himself. When Jay Schrader has been successful, Gary, he has thrown the ball on running downs.
Well, he's got a running attack, evidently, that he can complement as they come to a 3rd down and 6. Schrader with time. A flag on the play. Intended for Galt. Overthrown. But there was a flag thrown as they were backing those linemen into the face of Schrader at the last moment. It's going to be a holding call. And he is pointing towards Denver.
That should be an automatic first.
Good protection on that play.
Yeah.
Schrader had the time. That line is something up the middle. 3 all-pro players.
Illegal use of the hands on the face mask. Number 99 on the defense, 5 yards, first down.
That's Shane Dronette, the rookie from Texas, the 2nd-round draft pick, number 99, guilty of that. So that gives him the automatic first down to the 34 of Denver. There's Dronette. They say he's always getting his hands up, batting the ball down. Well, this time he got his hands in the wrong place. Dickerson remains in the backfield. Drive taking a lot of time. 10-11 left in the first quarter. Schrader has it stripped. The ball is loose. Denver's picked it up. Running with the football is Michael Brooks. And Brooks is going to take it in for the touchdown. It was Mecklenburg, I think, that stripped it. And Brooks who picked it up. It's been the Broncos turning the ball over. But this time, the turnover gives them 6 as Treadwell adds the point after. 7-0 Denver. 10 minutes left in this first quarter. And Mecklenburg, who is so cagey, who, as you mentioned, plays so well off of his teammates, helped a teammate here in Michael Brooks. Of his career, but the first for a touchdown of 54 yards has given the Broncos a 7-0 lead. Eloiso will kick off. Grady and Land back deep. This is Sam Grady. And so it wasn't quite as impressive as the first time when he kicked it out of the back of the end zone, but it still gets the touchback.
You know, Gary, we talked about how Mecklenburg really feeds off other people. This time it's Greg Craig, and he's going to take him if you have Dickerson blocking Mecklenburg.
That's where Steve Smith is so good, when they leave him in the backfield to block. From the 20 now, the Raiders trailing 7-0. We just mentioned Smith, and that is Smith, as he brings it out to the 23, a gain of 3 yards.
They feature the fullback. They throw him a bone once in a while. Give him a carry once every lunar eclipse.
Keep him interested,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
But this head guy, in the game.
Yeah, this guy is a dominating blocker, Steve Smith. And you're right. When in the passing game, if you need protection, you keep Steve Smith in. Maybe you keep a tight end in to give Schrader the time to find the wide receivers.
That is the first ball carrier other than Dickerson in this game. He had all the work prior to that one. Second down, a helmet has come off, and the ball was overthrown, intended for Ethan Horton, the tight end. So Shea lost his helmet.
Big play here for Jay Schrader. You get back in rhythm against a defense that is psyched up right now.
Playing on the road and trailing. Stepping up. He's going to have to get out of there. He's flushed out, slides, and he's got the first down. Jay Schrader, who's a big guy, you forget he's 6'4", weighs 215 pounds, did a very good job picking up 8 yards on the play.
Now, the thing about this offensive line for the Raiders, watch how many the gaps in there. See how many gaps there are? And they're going to give him plenty of passing lanes and time to throw the ball. He had a passing lane to his left. He ducked to his right. Now watch him look. You see him look to his right? He saw where the first down marker was before he went down.
You also saw Montgomery coming up, and he will hit you. Alton Montgomery playing in place of the All-Pro Steve Atwater. First down from the 31. Schrader to Ethan Horton, and the tight end's got it at the 40-yard line of Denver. Dennis Smith was over there, but a 27-yard completion, and Horton coming off of a Pro Bowl year.
Well, he should have a big game in the Raider tonight and for the Raiders, as you see him come off the line here. But you got to hold him up. If you let a tight end like Horton release like that without jamming at the line of scrimmage, he has too much opportunity to get open over the middle. But with the wide receivers they have, Gary, with the speed outside, Ethan Horton ought to catch a lot of balls in the middle of the field.
A former running back, which has been a way the Raiders have gone so many times, moving a running back to tight end. From the 40, first down, this is Smith, and Smith maybe a yard. Mecklenburg was in there first. When you look at this Denver deep,
perhaps the best pair of safeties when he's healthy, Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith, who's playing tonight.
Wade Phillips, who, of course, his dad is Bum Phillips. Another ball is on the field as Schrader throws behind goal. I've never seen that, Pat. Another ball came onto the field at the 45-yard line about the time the ball was snapped.
One of the ball boys over there was kind of fooling around and lost control.
That's in case he didn't like the other one. He could run over and get that one, right?
You get your pick.
Maybe that was Jeff Gossett getting ready to punt.
There he is.
Anyway, third down and 10 now coming up for the Raiders.
Well, 2 times, though, tonight, Willie Gault has been open on long passes. He was open inside there for the touchdown.
You think John Elway's not wondering if he ever going to get out there?
He doesn't mind. He's leading 7-0.
That's true. Schrader on the 3rd and 10. Being pressured by Cole, and it's intercepted. It's picked up. That is Lilo Lang, and Lang takes it to the 35-yard line.
If you're Jay Schrader, you're thinking this is exactly what the coaches have talked about all week.
First down inside the 35, and Elway finally gets a chance. Robert Perryman in motion. Elway being chased. Dumps it low to Gaston Green. Incomplete. And Elway rolled up back at the 50-yard line. But John Elway, the winningest coach in the NFL.
Breaking down at the end of a play, what he can do at the last couple of seconds is different than any other quarterback in the league.
2nd and 10. Jackson is in motion. Elway's got the time and overshoots Jackson, crossing over the middle at the 30-yard line. Some of that adrenaline possibly flowing. Eddie Anderson defending on the play. Set the rest now of that offensive lineup. 3rd and 10 now for Denver. From the shotgun, Arthur Marshall, I should say, is in motion. Elway is sacked from behind by Anthony Smith. The ball came loose in there. And let's see who has it. They're indicating that Denver has maintained the football as they unpile, as Elway took a real shot from the backside.
Well, John Elway is going to have to be concerned about his backside all night. Jeff Davidson, although in his 3rd year, is anew at left guard. The left tackle we've talked about, Russell Freeman, number 68, just gets beaten very, very quickly. Now, he should have gotten some more help there from Reggie Rivers, quite honestly, the back, number 38. Reggie Rivers has got to give him some help. He doesn't. As a matter of fact, he pushes Freeman off.
That's where they miss Steve Sewell.
Yeah.
Sewell was excellent at picking up those guys. Reggie Rivers did not see him. Here's Mike Horan, a line drive kick, aiming for the corner, but he didn't get it. Horan had one block last week, and that one looked a little shaky. He got it 42 yards, but a little herky-jerky. You can see he's talking about it. Looks like your golf swing the way he was showing it there.
Jerky, yeah.
7-0 Denver. The Broncos, who lead on a 54-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown by Michael Brooks. From the 20-yard line, Schrader. He's had 16 snaps. He's suffered 1 interception. He gives to Dickerson. Dickerson staying on his feet. Good second effort. Brings it up for a 9-yard pickup to the 29.
The thing about the Raiders formations thus far, though, every time they've been in the I formation, Eric Dickerson has carried the ball.
Not a lot of deception back there.
No, there isn't. And that's part of the Raiders thing. You know, the Raiders have been contrarians really for 20 years in the era of no huddles and run and shoots. They believe in running the football. You throw it deep 4 or 5 times a game, and you get after them on defense.
Look at the difference here in Schrader from 90 to 91. Patience has been the big difference.
Absolutely. And a running game. Had a very good running game in 90.
Steve Smith going for the first down on a 2nd and a yard. Got it out to the 32.
Now, this Denver Bronco team is really been injured early in this season, in the preseason. Look at all the guys who are not playing. Steve Atwater, the most noteworthy, quite honestly, because he is such a big part of their defense.
They miss Van Johnson because he's a good punt return guy.
Yeah, and a 3rd down receiver.
Yep.
And we talked about Steve Sewell. They miss his blocking and receptions on 3rd down.
Talked to Michael Young before the game. He had back surgery. He's hoping to come back. Maybe what did he tell us? 1st of November, somewhere in there. Inside 5 minutes left in the first quarter. First down for the Raiders. Eric Dickerson's got the hole, and Dennis Smith wraps him up at the 40-yard line. That's one of those tackles you better make it, because Dickerson, being a great cutback runner, had bigger and better ideas of going further.
Well, the Denver Broncos safeties, quite honestly, Dennis Smith, are like linebackers. And between the two teams, you're going to see the best tacklers at safety in the NFL. And really, that's a real win there for Dennis Smith. You would think that Eric Dickerson might just blow right by him on the outside, and that's one of the questions that Art Shell wanted answered tonight.
2nd down and 2. Ethan Horton in motion. Dickerson again, and Dickerson has the first down just short of the 45-yard line. Dennis Smith there again.
The thing about Eric Dickerson, too, is we've talked about how he gets stronger, and most of his yards have come in the 3rd and 4th quarter. You know, during his Ram years, quite honestly, he had created a lot of soft tackles. But what you're seeing in this attack tonight, running from, because he didn't get hit very hard, but when you're running from tackle to tackle, as he is tonight, with the Raiders, you're going to take a lot more hits and a lot more punishment. Max
Montoya, the 36-year-old veteran at right guard, threw a good block on the last play. First down. Dickerson again. This time, good reaction by that Denver defense, in particular Brooks, who's already had the big fumble recovery for a touchdown. Brooks has led them in tackles the last 2 years. Denver linebackers as a group are really exceptional.
They really are. But Gary, look at the gaps here. See the big line splits? What they want is this guy, Mosbar and Cragen on an island, and then create these running lanes right here for Eric Dickerson. That time Michael Brooks just did not stay blocked.
Boy, Mosbar, so tall, those long arms.
Unusually tall for a center.
2nd down, 10. Smith across the 50. He's got the first down as he lunges to the 45. Carl Mecklenburg made the stop. He's getting quite a bit of activity.
Yeah, he is. And you know, this is just the kind of drive that a Jay Schrader needs right now. And you come back, you have a fumble, you have an interception, your team is down by 7 points, you're playing in a hostile environment on opening night. You need to have something methodical to get you back in rhythm. And offensive linemen get in rhythm by running the football.
Are you ready for this? Denver's defense has been on the field all but 33 seconds of this quarter, and we have 2:11 left in it. But they're still leading. Schrader again. This is Fernandez, Mervin Fernandez. All these receivers are so good after they catch the ball to get additional yardage. That's an 18-yard gain by Fernandez. Brooks made the tackle.
The thing about Mervin Fernandez is that he can run all sorts of different kind of routes. Some guys run out routes, some guys run inside, but Mervin Fernandez can give you a lot of different kind of routes. This one just a little simple out, well thrown that time by Schrader, coming back to the ball, which Raider receivers have been doing for 20 years. And then he picks up another 6-8 yards, and that's one of the things you measure with these Raider receivers, how many yards after the catch.
Schrader 3 of 7, 68 yards, the 1 interception. Dickerson, a flag on the play. Looked like some movement. He fumbles the ball, and Denver still trying to cover it. They've got it at the 20-yard line. Elton Montgomery picks it up. Montgomery gets a block on Schrader, and down there trying to make the tackle is Galt. A big block thrown by Tyrone Braxton, and to the 15-yard line goes Montgomery. Now, what's the flag all about?
I want to tell you, though, Jay Schrader did a great job of saving a touchdown. No matter what happens with the flag, Jay Schrader deserves some credit. He got blocked 2 or 3 different times, but still made the play.
Boy, that's got to be an awful feeling, though, if you throw an interception or a fumble or anything.
Illegal motion. Left guard. That penalty is declined.
So it's going to stand. 66 yards is what that return is to the 15-yard line. And so there's no instant replay in 1992. Green and Perriman in the backfield. 7-0 Denver. 1:01 to go in the first quarter. Gaston Green, maybe a yard. Denver did not establish their. Now we've got a fight breaking out. Denver did not establish their running game in the pre.
He's going to give you 40.
Maybe 80.
Absolutely.
2nd down, 9, and Perriman and Green in the backfield. He has Jackson in motion. Get to Gaston Green. Green maybe a yard again, maybe 2, and shoved back. Crowd not liking how they handled him, but that's Raider football. Yeah. They're rough and tumble.
You see Eddie Anderson, number 33. He's up there. Ricky Ellison, number 50, the middle linebacker.
And Russell Freeman saying they didn't do this at Georgia Tech last year.
They'll do it here a lot with the Raiders.
We've come to the end of the first quarter. Denver deep in the Raider territory and leading this game 7-0.
Brown, the late Jerome Brown, and the story on that Saints and Philadelphia game, plus the unusual perspective on this first half and the Raider turnovers from Kevin Kiley and Kenny Stabler. Back to you.
Okay, Bob, thank you. On a 3rd and 8, Elway scrambling around. He does this so well. Get some help. Look out. He's going to take a tremendous shot from Anthony Smith. The ball comes loose, and at the 11-yard line, they're uncovering it, and it's the Raiders football. What a shot Elway took from 94.
And that's the second shot he has taken from Anthony Smith, and the second time John Elway has fumbled. I mean, we talked about him being the most dangerous player in the NFL on 3rd and long, because what he likes to do is, you know, it's maybe a sophisticated NFL game, but on 3rd and long for John Elway, it is sandlot football. And this is what he likes. This is what makes him unusual, because here he can throw the ball across the field, which I think he was going to try to do, and never even felt Anthony Smith.
Great effort by Smith. He chased him almost the whole width of the field. Derek Russell was looking for the pass, but Elway was running for his life. We'll be back. The Raiders have the football.
There's two players I want you to watch. Right here, Russell Freeman, the left tackle, and up here at the top of the screen, that is Derek Russell. Now, Freeman, we've talked about him being the rookie offensive tackle. Anthony Smith is eating his lunch right now. That's twice. He puts the early pressure on him. Now, you see, at the top of the screen here, if you stop it right here, you see him breaking away. In their scramble situations for Denver, they always send one guy deep. But Anthony Smith just not stop.
So after the 66-yard fumble recovery and return, the Broncos can't capitalize on it as they come out running with Dickerson again and Dennis Smith filling from that safety position up to make the stop after a 1-yard gain. You know, you go back to Anthony Smith. He led them in sacks in the preseason, but they need that kind of pressure, that kind of heat from up the middle until they get Chester McLaughlin back, the rookie they're so excited about.
Yeah, the #1 draft pick, 320 pounds a man.
They are so excited about him. Out with a foot injury. And Smith, who was out his entire rookie year with an injury, having a good year. Second down, virtually 10. Schrader dumps it off, intended for Smith, and Dronette, Shane Dronette, the rookie from Texas, got a hand on it.
Well, you know, it's funny. The coaches were saying every day in practice and every preseason game, Shane Dronette has tipped the ball.
Yep.
You know, some guys just have that knack of being able to get the hands up at the right moment, and Shane Dronette is one of those guys, number 99. I mean, he did it in college at Texas. He did it in the preseason. He's done it every day in practice. And it seems simple, but when you got a big old body blocking you and things are happening around you, people chopping at your knees, it's tough to get that hand up there in time to knock.
It's nice when you're 6'6". That helps a little bit.
I wouldn't know.
Third down, 10 yards to go. Crowd really noisy right now. Schrader's going to ask for a timeout. That's his second timeout. The Broncos leading at 7-0. It's time for tonight's GMC Truck Leaderboard. Coming into this game, the Broncos and Raiders were the best opening day records in the AFC. So if the Raiders would win, they would become #1.
Makes sense to me.
That does to me, too.
Take off your shoes and socks to figure out the math on that. That's good. Gary?
I stick around you. I'm going to have it all figured out. Who do you think's leading the football game?
Yeah, that's incredible. Broncos up by 7 points. But here the Broncos find themselves in 3rd and 10. And generally, these football games, most NFL games, turn on 5 or 6 plays. This could very well be one of them. And this is where Jay Schrader needs some time, needs some protection.
They have Todd Pete now in at left offensive guard. In motion, Schrader rolling to the end zone. Finds some time. There's a flag. He throws it complete to Fernandez out to the 38-yard line, but the penalty flag back at the 5. 26-yard completion if it stands. Boy, Schrader just got away from all the heat, went outside the pocket. It's going to go against the Raiders. Going to be very loud now as they're deep in the end zone. Coming out of that hole on a 3rd and 16. Schrader will give it to Dickerson, and Dickerson wrapped up very effectively by Mike Kroll. A lot of people feel that Kroll, along with Cortez Kennedy of Seattle, are going to be the 2 next most dominant defensive players in the league.
That is a great change of pace.
He made his first Pro Bowl last year. Arthur Marshall, the rookie out of Georgia, back to receive it. Low snap from Dan Kirk. Very fine punt. Arthur Marshall at the 40. First wave doesn't get him, but the second does.
I love all the dancing. It didn't fake anybody out. You see that?
That was a pressure-packed punt, 53-yarder by Gossett. He got it out of there well. It was a 7-yard return. Arthur Marshall said that worked in the SEC. Green, the quickness to the outside, but a good open field tackle that time by Lionel Washington, coming up from that right cornerback spot.
Yeah, Lionel Washington is a corner that can play bump and run and cover you downfield, but he's also quick enough and a good enough tackler to make plays like that on Gaston Green.
This was a really big win for rookie Bill Cowher.
That's a surprise.
Yeah.
Big surprise.
And, of course, Dave Shula, 2 youngest coaches in the NFL, won today. Chiefs winning in San Diego. 2nd down and 7. Sharp in motion again. Elway double pumping to Derek Russell, and Russell has a first down catch to the 35. 16-yard gain, and Russell, who started very shaky last year, didn't have any catches in the first 5 games, now having to be a big Eagles-Cardinals game from Phoenix. That's the initial first down of the game for the Broncos. From the 35, Green again. Quick feet, takes it to the 32. And now another fight.
Well, you know, generally we've had the Raiders we've had more fights than first downs for Denver, right?
I went up
fights and 1 first down.
I went up to Flagstaff.
The wrong word to use for the Raiders, but and they're going to let you know because they want to be in charge.
Second down, 7 for Elway. Flushed out, being chased. Got rid of it. He had Aaron Wallace coming up his backside. He tried to get it off to Clarence Kay. Aaron Wallace, very good speed. There is a flag, by the way, on the far side of the field at the 31. Elway, they want to keep him out of some of those lanes, but it's so hard. He just buys more time.
Well, you know, there's lots of scramblers around in the league. Not lots, but some great ones.
Illegal man downfield.
Yeah. There's been some great ones over the years, but what makes him different?
Legal forward pass, number 7 of the offense. The pass was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. It'll be 5 yards from where it was thrown. Loss of down, 3rd down.
So not only do you lose the yardage, you lose the down.
But again, 3rd and long, I think this is where John Elway wants to turn it into a sandlot game.
On a 3rd and 11 now. Reggie Rivers comes in to protect him back there in the shotgun. Elway doesn't get a protection, but he stays on his feet, going deep in the end zone. Derek Russell, the intended receiver. McDaniel defending, and Russell just went up to Colorado Springs and disappeared in that runway.
That's a heck of a play by John Elway, though. I mean, he has got some heat on him tonight. Andre Bruce, Howie Long, number 75, gets a piece of him. He's going to get another shot there by Moss. Again, McDaniel has good closing speed. And once you get the head turned, and even though you make contact with the receiver, it's called incidental contact and not pass interference.
Elway is taking quite a pounding now. We're going to have Deli Russo come in and attempt a 54-yard field goal. The man they just signed this week. Miranda hold, and it's blocked. DeLuiso, who they just signed, kicking the long field goal because Treadwell does not have the strong leg out that far, and they end up blocking it.
Remember in the last game, they blocked 2 kicks of the Denver Broncos? I think it was Scott Davis who blocked 2 kicks of Denver to win the game for the Raiders.
17-16. So the ball didn't really look like it got up at all. Let's look at it as the new field goal kicker in his first effort as a Denver Bronco.
I think it was Andrew Glover, number 87.
Also, Howie Long was up there, but I think it was Glover. 7-0 Denver.
Tonight, quite honestly, he has not had much time. They must get some production out of Gaston Green.
Schrader, his team trailing 7-0, going up top to Willie Gault. He's got it. Gault able to reach over Wyman Henderson and make that catch. 54-yard completion. Now they're going to mark him just short of the 10-yard line. That's where he rolled up before they made contact. We have a Bronco shaken up at the other end of the field. It's Mecklenburg down at the 25.
Give Jay Schrader some credit, though. Threw the interception, got off to a terrible start, but hangs in there, comes right back. A perfectly thrown ball inside. It allows the receiver, Willie Gault, to be able to make the adjustment and some separation between him and Henderson. Henderson has him well covered, but when you throw the ball inside, the receiver can see the ball, makes the adjustment, and separates himself from the defensive back.
Gault really didn't average that long strike to Gault. 54-yarder.
And quarterbacking is about confidence, and right now that is exactly what Jay Schrader needed.
New running backs, Bell and Derek Gainer. And it's Derek Gainer who was cut this week and then re-signed, and they then released Vince Evans, the third quarterback, and he takes it close to the 6-yard line. Terry Robeski, he's going to signal, wig-wag the plays in.
When you think about Art Shell as a head coach with the Raiders, I think offensive linemen have to be good communicators, and good communicators make good head coaches, and that's what Art Shell is. Madden was before him with the Raiders, a great communicator, and so is Art Shell.
And Madden was one of his strongest supporters. 2nd down and 4. Tim Brown in motion. Again, straight ahead, close to the goal line. Ethan Horton signaling touchdown, but they're going to be short of that.
Here is where the Raiders have a distinct advantage. They're 20 pounds approximately heavier per man in the offensive line than the Denver defensive line.
They're going to measure to see if they got a 1st and goal. If not, it'll be a 3rd down coming up.
See, with the way defenses are played inside the 15-yard line in the NFL today, Gary, I think you really have to be able to run the ball inside the 10, because people use it, so you must be able to run the ball.
Well, did they get the 1st and goal? They did.
He got it by a postage stamp.
1st and goal now for the Raiders, trying to get on the scoreboard.
And again, that was a big hole there for Derek Gainer. The splits of the Raider offensive linemen help that, and then the way they stay on their blocks and finish their blocks is the difference.
They got Bell at 250 pounds at one of the running backs. Gainer at 240. It's going to be Bell this time. Nick Bell fighting into the goal line and into the end zone for the touchdown. Bell is so huge, those legs, so tough to stop on a goal line situation.
Well, Nick Bell, all 250 pounds of him, when he gets some momentum, it's like he's running downhill. And that's just what happened there. I mean, he just doesn't stop, keeps those legs, keeps it churning, keeps people away from his legs, and scores.
Do they have depth? Dickerson, Bell, and we haven't even seen Marcus Allen.
And here's a guy who's been really underutilized by the Raiders for a couple of years.
Jeff Jaeger now to attempt the point after to tie it up. And he does that. So it's 7 even. 8:03 left to go in this first half. So the Raiders have fought through some difficulty to tie this game up. And their 2nd round draft pick of a year ago from Iowa, Nick Bell, scored the touchdown.
Yeah. Frederick Forrest has got a perfect name for that movie, doesn't he? You've got a great voiceover, voice for voiceovers. That's
Habitation
good.
of Dragons. I know a few homes that have habitations of dragons. Jaeger kicking off. It'll be Marshall, the rookie. And he brings it out to the 14-yard line. Got very good height on that kickoff. Had to wait a long time. So Denver offensively has really done nothing. They absolutely have done nothing. They have 9 yards rushing. Look at that. 3 passing.
Well, again, I think they've been John Elway's been scrambling around every time he's trying to throw in the ball. They're going to have to give Russell Freeman, the left tackle, some help. And I think the line is going to have to find a way to give Gaston Green a little bit of space. Because when he gets some space and air, Gaston Green can go a long way.
Well, they can chip block for him. They can send that H-back, maybe wham block, as you talk about it.
Yeah.
Green and Perriman in the backfield. Play action fake by Elway. Beautiful fake. Deep to Mark Jackson. Broken up. Excellent defensive effort that time by Terry McDaniel. Boy, was that well faked. Yeah. Elway really froze the defense with that one, but this guy, McDaniel, was not fooled.
Well, you're not. When you're a corner in the Raiders and you play bump and run, you're not really concerned about play action fakes. It may fool safeties and give the quarterback a little bit more time, and it was a good fake. But when a corner has makeup speed like Terry McDaniel does and can make a play and get his head turned and drive on the ball like that, he sees it all the way. He is just baiting the ball and really had a chance to pick it off.
And he really had some closing speed. Here's a pass complete to Gaston Green. Green will be knocked out of bounds, about a yard pickup on the play.
But that's what the Broncos, I think, need to do. is get that man, Gaston Green, out there in some air. He's not good necessarily. He's not going to necessarily break a lot of tackles for you. But if you get him in some space, he can make a lot of things happen.
3rd and 9 now for Elway. Elway is 1 of 5 passing. It's tied at 7. Elway, a little pressure coming, and right through the arms of Mark Jackson. There is a flag at the line of scrimmage. Jackson trying to come back to the football. Ronnie Lott, who will rough you up a little bit, was on top of him. But there's a flag away from where they were.
They're going to be on the Raiders. Should be the automatic first.
They had a 3rd and 9. That could be a big break for this Denver team and get them started.
You know, a year ago, Denver went 12-4, and when they were one of the few teams in the NFL, Gary, to have more rushes than passes. In 3rd downs.
There is no foul on the play. 3rd down.
Wow, that brings up 4th down. And look at Dan Reeves. He is not very happy about that. He's saying, what? Are you kidding me? And he's going to have it explained by the field judge, but I don't think any explanation will make him feel better. 4th down. Moran to punt from the goal line. This is Tim Brown. Pro Bowl return specialist. Beautiful punt. At the 40 is Brown. First man misses him. He gets to the far side and takes it to the 50-yard line. Tim Brown is exciting. A 9-yard return. Horan with a punt of 45 yards.
I tell you, Elvis Patterson for the Raiders is a great special team player. Watch your number 43 right here at the top of the screen. This is a guy. He did make a play here, but he always makes his presence known. He's going to rough you up. He's going to talk to you a little bit. You know, he's the guy who's saying this week, I will make the play.
Yep.
I will make the play, he said.
He thinks he's a ghost. Didn't he say they don't see me out there? You know, I can slip through and make these tackles because I'm a ghost.
No, he is a great special teams player, and he will win at least one game this year for the Raiders by himself on special teams.
This is the best starting position field-wise for the Raiders tonight. They started just short of the 50. Smith and Bell in the backfield. And Bell at 250 pounds and still going. He takes it inside the 35 to the 33, and there's a flag.
Wow.
18-yard run by this Iowa product. He gets those shoulders turned up the field. He is something to get in the way of. It's going to be holding against the Raiders. And Shell doesn't like that, as Art Shell, who is such an outsize, you just can't wrap him up. So the 18-yard run is negated. It's now 1st and 20 from the 40-yard line. Schrader, nobody there. Galt was the closest, and Schrader getting up slowly. He took a real shot that time when he released the ball. Just no place to go that time. He did get rid of it, but that's all he was able to do.
It was Greg Cragen who was actually in Schrader's face.
There's Cragen, the nose tackle. Many people feel he's one of the top 3 nose tackles in the NFL.
Well, you know what he does so well, he gets his hands on the center, and he gets rid of the center very quickly. A lot of people say he defensively holds and throws you away, but he gets rid of the center and makes plays.
He's out of there right now, getting a breather on a 2nd and 20. Bell and Gainer in the backfield. Bell, 5 yards, maybe 6, moving the pile forward. Mecklenburg back in the ball game after that injury to the leg, and Michael Brooks there to make the stop. Bell had a 71-yard touchdown run last week. And Marcus Allen now comes into the ball game. He's been slowed by an injury just above the Achilles tendon, but they wanted to use him more on goal line and 10 yards in, but he's come in now.
You know, this is a guy I think has been underappreciated by the Raiders for a couple of years now. He has been injured, but this guy blocks, he catches, and he can run.
3rd and 15 for Los Angeles. Timmy Brown in motion. Schrader sprinting away from trouble. Gets a block from Mosbar. Kroll gives chase, and he has to get rid of it. That was Kroll again with that speed in the open field. that made Schrader change what he wanted to do.
Now, Mike Kroll has closing speed like a defensive corner. I mean, in general, when he gets close like that, he makes
him do what he does so well, directionally punt this ball.
Yeah, he's got a great center, great coverage, and a great directional punt on the
big rush was put on. Arthur Marshall over there lets it go out, and that's what he does so well. Let's see where they stop coming up the field. They're still walking out to the 15, 16, about the 17-yard line is where they're going to mark it. Last week he had 2 that went out on the 2-yard line.
Yeah, see, and Gossett is complaining to the referee because he felt that ball knocked down out the 10-yard line, and that's why he drives it low. You can see him off the right side. Then watch the snap, well placed. Now, see, he keeps it low so the officials don't have a hard time really marking it. That's one of the reasons he does it. You know, officials always seem confused on that play where the ball goes out.
Well, Gossett didn't exactly like the mark, did he? From the 17-yard line now, Gaston Green drawing a crowd as he comes out to the 20-yard line. Well, Denver was concerned about establishing the running game. And, Pat, as of right now, there really hasn't been anything to get excited about if you're Dan Reeves.
No, there really hasn't been. And I think if Denver is going to get some production on offense, they're going to have to get the ball to Shannon Sharp. He's number 84. He is their H-back. He's just come back into the ballgame. This is a guy they feel can play wide receiver. He can play tight end. They can move him. And he has speed to get deep, but he has not caught the ball tonight.
Denver's carried the ball 6 times for 13 yards. 2nd and 7. Sharp, the guy Pat was talking about, in motion to Gaston Green, trying to get the corner, and doesn't quite get it done because 99 Winston Moss caught him around the shoe tops and was able to stop him there.
Well, you know, it was interesting. Howie Long said about Winston Moss last night. Winston Moss is the best linebacker I've ever seen. So this guy can make plays from sideline to sideline.
Stay with us at halftime for the Fruit of the Loom halftime report. Bob Neal, Kenny the Snake Stabler, and Kevin Kiley will analyze the first half of action. Ernie Johnson has all the scores and highlights from today's NFL opening day. On 3rd down tonight, Denver's 0 for 4, and this is a 3rd and 5. At the feet of Derek Russell. And so Elway will have to pump the ball away, or Horan will, as it comes to a 4th down and 5. That ball not well thrown at all.
No.
And those numbers are not John Elway type numbers.
He knows it. I mean, he had a guy open really for one of the few times tonight.
You know, he had bone spurs removed from his shoulder. He said he's throwing without pain for the first time in a long time. As Horan gets it high to Tim Brown. Fair catch at the 31. Los Angeles will have it there. A 47-yard punt by the left footer Mike Horan.
You know, Tim Brown was saying that Horan's very difficult to catch his punts because the left-footed punter, and he actually had Marinovich, the left-handed quarterback for the Raiders, throw him long passes today, this week to practice for.
You know why that is? The ball spins the other way. You remember Donnie Anderson that punted for so many years with the Packers? He was so good, a left-footed punter, just because of that spin that's backwards. Be sure to be with us next Sunday. Sun Devils.
I think for Randall.
Yep. The Broncos having a miserable first half. They are very fortunate to be tied up at 7. Dalton in motion. Nick Bell straight ahead. Bell out to the 45-yard line. Wyman Henderson eventually made the tackle.
You think of this tenor of the game and how long this Denver defense has been on the field. And then you have a guy like Nick Bell, all 250 yards. Again, you see the big line splits create natural holes. Smith, the line fullback, makes a nice block, although he got away with it. And then you bring 250-pound Nick Bell. But this defense of Denver has got to be tired.
From the 45 after that gain of 14 yards. Smith and Bell in the backfield. This is Smith, and Smith gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Ron Holmes, who came in late, overweight, and also trying to recover from arthroscopic surgery, lost his starting job to Kenny Walker, but he made the tackle there. Holmes has had some big games for this Denver team.
Well, he's known more as a pass rusher, and you need those guys in the NFL, but I think what Denver needs right now are some guys who can stuff the run.
Wade Phillips, everyone on the defensive side of the Broncos talks about what a great relationship he has with his players. 2nd and 10. Bell again. They're just sending this big running back right at him, and he is pounding some yardage out as he is close to another first down. Stopped short of the 45. He's carried the ball 4 times for 29 yards. He's about a yard short of the first down.
This is an area where you'd love to have Steve Atwater if you're the Denver Broncos. This is a guy, Steve Atwater's out with an injury, that makes plays and is a great tackler on guys like Nick Bell. Maybe this year the most dominated defensive safety in the game.
Montgomery will hit you as well, but Atwater brings some different dimensions to the game. The problem with Montgomery, they call him the Tasmanian Devil. He gets impatient back there and goes the wrong place at the wrong time. We have the 2-minute warning. It's all tied at 7 from Mile High Stadium. The season opener for the Broncos and the Raiders. Halftime report coming up. Bob Neal, Ken Stabler, Kevin Kiley, Ernie Johnson will catch us up on what happened earlier today. And also a look at this first half, which thus far, even though it's 7-7, it's been a long first half for the Denver Bronco defense. They've been out there over 20 minutes.
It's the kind of game, too, that the Raiders will wear you down in the 4th quarter.
We come back after 2-minute warning, 3rd and 1, and you said Bell would get the football, but it was Steve Smith. I can't trust you anymore. You told me during that break, you bet it would be Bell.
Change of pace there. Change of pace.
Well, since they made that change of pace, they dropped off to 245-pounder instead of 250.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But they've gotten the Raiders with 1:42 remaining in the half. They've gotten some production out of the running game. Now they need to come back with that play action pass, get the tight end, or Willie Gault deep.
Remember, they have only 1 timeout remaining. First down. Well, this is Bell this time, and Bell still fighting for yardage. Maybe a couple of yards. Dennis Smith coming up again. Smith's been making a lot of tackles. He went to his 3rd straight Pro Bowl, number 49 for the Broncos. He, of course, was a teammate of Ronnie Lott at USC.
And Joey Browner was in that backfield as well. But if he's making that many tackles, Dennis Smith, the strong safety, somebody's got to be open. The tight end, maybe a receiver on a crossing route, because if your strong safety's up there, it creates some air.
Raiders taking quite a bit of time getting this play called. 56 seconds left in the half. Schrader to Fernandez, and Fernandez has a first down catch out to the 26-yard line. You see the time remaining. Again, they have only 1 timeout remaining. 17-yard gain. Schrader set with 31 seconds. You see the time on the screen. Fernandez again, and that'll stop the clock with 24 seconds.
Well, if you're a Denver Bronco fan, this is where Mike Kroll has to make a play. He's their pass rusher. Mike Kroll or maybe Simon Fletcher, the 2 outside linebackers who can really come. Kroll last year in his rookie season with 10 sacks, and this guy we talked can come off the corner. He can come inside. He's a great stunter, but you have to make a play now.
Jager definitely within his field goal range. Last year he kicked a career-long 53-yarder. 2nd and 10. 1 running back, 3 wideouts. They have Bell split to the top of the field. And they're going to Bell. Check that, Ethan Horton. Ethan Horton, now he thought he was interfered with, obviously.
But see, that's just the thing, too. Remember we talked about Dennis Smith making so many plays up the line of scrimmage, and then they come right back to the tight end and try to get him down the middle, but Dennis Smith makes a play.
19 seconds. People really bending over, grabbing their knees right now.
No, that was not pass interference. Ball's got to be,
I don't know whether he thought he grabbed him by the helmet or what it was.
Maybe he thought that, but the ball has to be catchable to be interference. It was too far over his head.
This time they come out with 2 receivers split to the near side. 3rd and 10. A give to Bell. Bell getting them a little closer for this field goal try, and he'll be stopped at the 22-yard line. That's Alton Montgomery making the stop. And with 11 seconds left, the Raiders will use their final timeout.
You know, at home you get booed for calls like that. You make that in a situation like this. But with a game like this, as close as this game has been the last 5 times that Art Shell has played it. It's the right call. Your defense has played phenomenally thus far, exceedingly well. You don't want to take the sack. You don't want to throw the interception. Kick the field goal, take the 3.
Well, and Jager's one of the best. He is a Pro Bowl kicker. Last year he kicked 29 field goals, which is a Raider record. He's only 1 point shy, point-wise, of George Blanda's record of 117 points in a season.
When you think about the Raiders special teams, between Jager, Gossett, the best directional punter in the NFL, Dan Turk, their long snapper, Tim Brown, a punt returner, when they have a chance to win a couple of games on special teams.
Well, they had 8 guys in the Pro Bowl last year, and both of the Jets, Gossett and Jager. This is going to be a 41-yard attempt for the lead with 11 seconds left in this first half.
You know, I've seen Carl Mecklenburg block a lot of kicks in his career.
Jager's kick is up and is right down the middle. So with 7 seconds left in the half, the Raiders have taken the lead for the first time in this game.
That was a nice drive by the Raiders too, Gary. You saw a lot of Nick Galt in the second half.
Galt really didn't have the kind of year that he thought he was going to have last year. But he worked so hard in the preseason, and they talk about his work ethic, and looks so much better this time around. Little squib kick down the middle. Broncos going to get on it. This is Keith Traylor, a backup linebacker. He's about as big as Nick Bell. He's 260 pounds. And Grady was over there to make a tackle he just as soon not make.
It's been the lack of running game and a pass rush by the Raiders.
Well, they're not going to air it out. Instead, they give it to Gaston Green, and Green's getting a big run out of this. Green to the 35. Stiff arm Ronnie Lott. Time expires as he's eventually knocked out of bounds. There is a flag, by the way, back at the 40. That's a 34-yard run by Gaston Green. The Raiders lead at 10-7. John Elway did not have the kind of numbers he's used to having behind his name. On the other hand, Jay Schrader got off on very shaky footing in this football game, but he had a big completion of 54 yards. He did suffer the interception early, but the biggest difference, Pat, is Schrader's getting better balance. He's getting support from his running game.
That's exactly the difference that Jay Schrader's getting. 111 yards rushing for the Raiders, only 14 for the Broncos. And if John Elway's going to have any chance in this second half, they're going to have to find a way to run the ball better.
I saw Al Davis at halftime. He says, don't let those numbers of Elway fool you. We've had him here before, and he comes back to beat us. Jager kicking off. It'll be Marshall again. Marshall has a little seam, a flag on the play as he comes across the 25. And the Georgia Bulldog brings it out to the 36, but there is a flag back at the 12-yard line. Marshall was hurt his junior year, broke a shin bone, has that rod still in his leg, so he was not drafted. But it's going to come back.
That's too bad, because when your offense is not doing it for you.
Inside their 20-yard line for the third time in their last 4 possessions. Green and Perriman in the backfield. Gaston Green up to the play action fake. Elway in trouble getting out of the end zone. And as only he can do, averts a safety and gets it out to the 7. Nice fake to Green and then rolling over. Pressure coming from Andre Bruce, who was back there first.
Yeah, you know, that was a wonderful fake by John Elway, but you have to combine it with a running game. And when you have 14 yards in rushing, I don't think your safeties go for it. They aren't fooled. The linebackers aren't necessarily fooled. And as athletic a play as it was, to make that work, you better run the ball first.
Plus the field position.
How about a screen here? I mean, we haven't seen really any screen passes out of the Broncos, and they're generally a pretty good screen team.
There's the rushing yards that Pat was alluding to. 2nd and 10. Away from the goal line. And he's going to be sacked at the 2.
Aaron Wallace ran right over Gaston Green. And I mean right over him.
That's the 4th sack of the game, and Wallace, who had a good rookie year, didn't play all that well until the playoff game, and he won the starting job because he played so well in the playoffs.
Well, you know, they have a new defensive coordinator who said we have to get Aaron Wallace on the field, number 51. right there on the right-hand side. You see how he just runs right? He gets his hands on Gaston Green, pushes it back in the quarterback, throws Green away, and makes the play. The Raiders have what makes them difficult to pass block, great linebackers rushing, and great defensive linemen.
They have a real handful of problems. 3rd and 14. Lewis is in the backfield. Elway from his own end zone.
Quarterback throws Green away and makes the play. The Raiders have what makes them difficult to pass block, great linebackers rushing, and great defensive linemen.
They have a real handful of problems. 3rd and 14. Lewis is in the backfield. Elway from his own end zone. And it'll go incomplete. Good coverage that time as Mark Jackson, the intended receiver. Dan Land, who was in there in the nickelback, and Torrin Dorn, number 46, defending on the play.
You know, nice change of pace here by the Broncos getting Elway out. But this Raider defense has played sensationally thus far in the game, because Torrin Dorn takes this play away. He is so close to the receiver. Elway has to throw the ball out of bounds. There's no chance to get it to the receiver.
Mike Horan to punt. He punted 3 times in the first half, and here is Brown with a 1 return in the first half. Trying to kick it away from Brown. That's what he wanted to do, and he was successful in doing that. Now, where are they going to mark it? They're running up the field to the 41-yard line.
I love that.
You don't agree with those spots?
Well,
huh?
you know, I don't know how they figured that thing out, but they always seem confused on that, didn't they? The way they run up and down the sidelines on those.
Well, they didn't get a break. They being the Broncos. Horan looked to me like it went out more like the 48. Instead, they have it at the 41.
Now, Jay Schrader knows how well his defense is playing right now. Again, methodical. Run the ball. Give your tailback the ball. Give Nick Bell or Eric Dickerson the ball. Be patient, because your defense is going to keep you in the ball game.
Well, it'll be Eric Dickerson now. He's in there with Steve Smith. Here comes Eric. Getting the corner to the 35 and lowers his head very close to another first down. Tyrone Braxton over there as Dickerson showing some good speed to get to the outside.
Well, that's the first time we've seen it. Now, that's the 14th carry for Eric Dickerson tonight. Remember, when he gets dangerous, it's about 18 through 26. We also said, hey, he can get to the hole, but can he still outrun people? He did there, but he still is not afraid to put the shoulder down. I think he's been unique when he was hot a few years ago, unique in that he could outrun you, he would put his shoulder down, and he'd run inside for you.
He's a glider, a strider, a great cutback runner. Gain of 8, 2nd and 2. Smith going for the first down and moving people backwards. First down inside the 30-yard line. Yeah, you're right about Schrader. Go with those big horses up front. Give the ball to those big guys behind him and pound it away.
Well, let your defense and special teams win the game if they have to. I mean, as well as they're running the ball right now, though, they should have some wide receivers wide open. And I mean wide open.
Line of scrimmage just inside the 28 of Denver. 10-7. The Raiders with the lead as we've begun the second half. Smith and Dickerson in the backfield. Dickerson gets inside the 25 to the 24. The Broncos probably wonder how many running backs can they throw at us. They had Dickerson. Then they came in with Bell. We saw Marcus Allen very briefly. What depth.
Take another look, and I think this offensive line, you see that Montoya was out there, or Bruce Wilkerson. I mean, what they're doing is they're getting their hat on the guy in front of them, and then they just keep their guy blocked. You don't see too many Broncos slipping off the Raider offensive line blocks.
2nd and 6 from the 23. Dickerson and Smith behind Schrader. Number 29 has it. Inside the 20, breaks some tackles there, and has another first down just short of the 15. Braxton, who's been making a lot of tackles, coming up and making that one as well.
You know, at the very beginning of this broadcast, we said that Eric Dickerson, we both felt, was going to have a productive year for the Los Angeles Raiders. And he's going to have a productive year. And you're beginning to see that as he gets into the flow and the feel of the game.
He's 32 years old as of Wednesday this week. 62 100-yard games in his career. Now Bell comes in. Nick Bell's in the backfield. And the line of scrimmage to the 16-yard line as Steve Smith was back there with Bell. Smith carrying the ball, and they're just pounding it right at this orange defense.
Good play by Kenny Walker, though. Yeah, Wade Phillips is saying to himself, what we need to do is get some penetration. If they're going to give us those big gaps, we have to find a way to get in those gaps and create some bad plays, some negative plays in the rushing game.
They allowed 1 touchdown or less in 10 games last year, this Denver defense. Trailing 10-7 on a 2nd and 10. Smith and Bell in the backfield. Here's Bell again. He'll be stopped at the 15.
Did you see the angle that Dennis Smith took on Bell? Dennis Smith, who has been a sensational tackler for the Broncos for a long time, didn't believe that Nick Bell had the kind of speed he is. Watch number 49 come to the screen. He takes an angle right there in the middle, right here. You're going to see him. But he doesn't believe that Nick Bell has that kind of speed that he does, and takes the wrong angle. And that's the kind of unusual back that Nick Bell is.
They have to recompute. Marcus Allen now is in the backfield. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. And we have movement. Ethan Horton, the tight end, fired off before the snap of the ball. And everybody flying everywhere.
You remember, the Raiders are up by 3 points. This is going to be a 4th quarter game. It's going to be a 3 or 4.
Start. Number 88 on the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
A 3 or a 4 or 7-point
drive. They've all been on the ground. 3rd and 13. Marcus Allen. And Allen shoved backwards. Good reaction by Denver on that little delay handoff. Looked like he had a big hole, and then reacting well was Dennis Smith again. Smith has really been hanging tough.
The Dennis Smith has really played well for the Denver. As long as this team has been on the field, this is a nice call. Just talking about what we're saying. You're playing conservatively when your defense is playing that well. Good block on Mecklenburg by number 68 Wilkerson. And I think Dennis Smith has seen that spin move by Marcus Allen a few times.
Yeah, give me another move next time. This will be a 34-yard field goal attempt by Jaeger. Jaeger hit 1 from 41 earlier. And the kick is perfect. And so the Raiders build their lead to 13-7. 8:26 to go. Jaeger, the Pro Bowler, 2 of 2 in the field goal department. The Raiders adding 3 more points to their lead on a 34-yard field goal by Jeff Jaeger. Jaeger kicking off. Marshall and Muhammad Oliver back deep. Oliver, the rookie out of Oregon, 42, will down that one, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And you wonder, Pat, can the Broncos get something going offensively? We'll be back with more of our coverage here in this opening game of 1992. The Raiders of the 13-7. 13-7 after the Broncos scored first on a 54-yard fumble recovery by Michael Brooks. It's been all Los Angeles since then. Jaeger with 2 field goals. Nick Bell with a touchdown run, and Elway trying somehow to get the offense going. Double pumping, and nice catch by Derek Russell. First down. It looked almost like that ball wasn't going to get there before he went out of bounds. A 22-yard completion.
And a good adjustment by both John Elway and Russell, the corner route. Elway was going to throw the ball to the flat. Moss, number 99, bit on the fake. And then it was taken back by Elway, and beautiful throw to the outside.
Did he have both feet in there?
I believe he did.
Did he? Okay.
What are you, the replay official now?
I might be. I'm just asking you. You have the great eagle eye.
There you go. Get the first passing yards for Denver tonight.
22-yard pickup. Elway to Gaston Green. Might open up that running game, but not this time. Just nobody being knocked down up there.
No.
They're just gang tackling everything. Ricky Ellison, who has 2 Super Bowl rings with the 49ers, was in the middle of all of that.
Yeah, there's a guy, Ricky Ellison, a little bit like Matt Millen was for the Raiders and for the Redskins and all those teams. The run stopper. And here's a guy that you could put on a high school field on Friday night with no lights and would still love to play.
If his girlfriend was watching.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the guy just loves the game. Loved the game as a 49er.
He is Todd Marinovich's buddy. They hang out a lot together. Second down and 8. Elway's got the time, and he makes a connection to Clarence Kay, the tight end. That'll be a first down to the 42-yard line of Los Angeles. Ronnie Lott caught up with him. Kay has been coming back from arthroscopic surgery on his knee, and they desperately need him because we understand Shannon Sharp has been re-injured in this game.
Well, you know, you think about over the last number of years for the Denver Broncos. At that time, John Elway had good protection, and when you get protection, you can make completions like that. But Clarence Kay has made some big catches, not many, but critical catches for the Broncos over the years.
As the coach has said, he's there in crunch time. First down now. They mark it at the 43. Herman and Green and all kinds of movement. Whoops. Everybody got a hanky in the air that time. Looked to me like Kenny Lanier fired off. You don't expect that from this veteran.
But really, Gary, the difference in the two completions.
False start, number 76 on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
The difference in the two completions we've seen by John Elway.
First and 15 now after the penalty. 13-7, the Raiders with the lead. Perryman in motion. Flag on the play, a couple of them. He dumps it off to Gaston Green. Green gets a block from Lanier, and as he brings it inside the 40 to the 39, he's tackled there. So we have two flags on the play. Andre Bruce racing over there.
Yeah, I think the umpire, Red Cashin, threw his hat as a flag, too. I think he called two penalties. He threw the yellow flag.
What do you throw next?
And then, yeah, it's all he had left. He had to throw the hat.
Holding. Number 79 on the offense. Unnecessary roughness. Roughing the passer. Number 56 on the defense. Penalties offset. We'll replay first down.
Let's look at this hit on Elway that he was talking about.
Yeah, John Elway feels Andre Bruce, kind of short arms it, gets it rid of it quickly, and it was clearly a late throw. Still completes the pass, but you see, it was really the club to the head, too, which got him the penalty.
Can't do that. Here's a guy that's gotten new life with the Raiders after being the #1 draft pick of the Falcons in '88. Really just didn't fit into Jerry Glanville's plans, but now they feel like he can contribute to this football team.
You know, he's one in a long line of reclamation projects that the Raiders have had over the years. Look at these guys. And the Raiders are able to squeeze out 2 or 3 or 4 very productive years at a guy's on the way down.
Green and Perryman in the backfield. First and 15 on those offsetting penalties. And a movement. Willie Broughton jumps across. He's a former Cowboy. Played for Jimmy Johnson in Dallas. And his movement will bring out the Hankies again.
And Gary, just to kind of finish it up.
Encroachment. Number 97 on the defense. 5 yards, still first down.
Finish up with that thought on the reclamation.
What do they say? They treat you like men. Let you be yourself as long as it's in the framework of the team. Here's an end around to Jackson, and it ended up being up the middle, and Jackson cut down at the 41. That end around didn't go around.
You know, but you can see this play develop, but this is what you have to do when you're struggling on offense. Try to create a big play through some unusual things. You know, reverses, you know, halfback passes, those kinds of things. But the Raiders have been solid on defense, on the run, on the pass, on trick plays, virtually in everything.
And so as an end result, the Broncos only points coming by their defense. Second down and 8. Elway's going to take off, and he is bumped. The ball comes loose at the 36. He's hit from behind. That was again Smith, Anthony Smith, who's in the middle of that, and the Raiders have recovered it.
Yeah.
Smith has really given Elway trouble.
And heads-up stripping by one of those Raiders. I tell you, you see more and more and more of this in the NFL. It's not enough just to get to the quarterback. You create fumbles, interceptions by pressure, but Anthony Smith creates the fumble there. That's 3 sacks for Anthony Smith tonight.
Second turnover for Denver.
A lot of room to run.
I tell you, Anthony Smith has just really been a thorn in his side all night long. With the sacks, getting the ball jarred loose. You'll remember number 94.
I have seen enough of this Raider team tonight, and you think they don't have tonight Greg Townsend, who just signed, Chester McLaughlin, the #1 draft pick on defense, is hurt. Scott Davis is still holding out. This is a very strong defensive front seven for the Raiders.
The silver and black. Blitz is coming by Dennis Smith. They pick it up, and Dickerson then drops at the line of scrimmage. They picked up that blitz, and why not? They have such veteran people up front in the middle. Wisniewski and Mosbar and Montoya. They adjust so well.
Well, again, I think some of it is the tendencies of the Raiders. I formation, they're going to run the ball to the tailback virtually every time.
You see Wisniewski just picked up Smith, rode him out of there. Wisniewski, starter since his rookie year for the Raiders.
Yeah, to have 1,000-yard runners, you need 1,000-yard blockers, and the Raiders have those guys up front.
Second down, 11. Dickerson and Gaynor in the backfield. Schrader being pressured by Cregan, and Greg Cregan drops him back to the 25-yard line.
Greg Cregan said yesterday that Don Mosbar, the center for the Raiders, is the toughest center in the league for me to play against because he's got long arms. But what he has done is been able to get rid of him quickly with his strong hands, and then he goes up and makes the play right there. You don't see many nose tackles in the NFL make as many plays as Greg Cregan.
Second sack, a loss of 8. He said Bruce Matthews and Don Mosbar, the two that he hates to play against.
Yeah, most nose tackles are just sucking up blocks. Cregan makes plays.
Third and 19. Rolling out. Up the middle, incomplete ground. The intended receiver at the 45. Thrown behind him.
Well, sometimes Jay has the accuracy of your local weatherman. but I'll tell you, when he gets back in rhythm, when he gets the running game going, and he gets galled downfield, this could be a dangerous offensive team. You okay?
You shouldn't pick on those weathermen. It's a tough job.
I want to tell you, every weatherman I see is always wrong, particularly on the weekend. You know, when you want to play golf and such, they're always wrong.
Well, maybe this is the beginning as they jump 10 people up there as Gossett punts it away. Maybe this is the beginning for the Broncos. Their defense firing them up. Here is Marshall. Marshall across the 40 to the 44-yard line. 46-yard punt, 13-yard return. Denver is trailing 13-7. They'll have good field position, just short of their own 45-yard line. Offensive line coach talking it over with his troops after that sack a moment ago of Schrader. Cregan able to get through there. Here is tonight's Silver Bullet scoreboard. The Colts without Jeff George winning today. The Bears and Waddle, who's done so many big things for them. 1 second left. The Bills. Is it three-peat for them? And Dennis Green, who won all the preseason games, winning his first regular season game. And we have a blitz coming. Lott running up. They call it off. A handoff to Gaston Green. Green for about 4 to the 49-yard line. And Eddie Anderson, who fills so well, makes a stop. And we have another skirmish breaking out on the far side of the field. And this one is a little heated.
It's a hockey match.
Where's the puck?
See, Ronnie Lott can do a lot of different things for your team. You mentioned him coming up, calling off the blitz. I mean, you can see him come up here. He sees by formation. He wants to make the audible. He gets Aaron Wallace in the right position, and then goes over and helps to make the play.
That run, by the way, by Gaston Green of 6 yards is Denver's longest of the night as you look at the skirmish then after the play. Second down and 4. Elway stepping up in the pocket. Being chased by Winston Moss. He's got the first down and a late shove. That will be 15 yards. Oh, is that brutal? He went clear under the Raiders bench. That's just uncalled for.
If you want to get the fans in the game, that's one way to do it. You hit John Elway out of bounds. I don't think it was as vicious as that, but he did have his momentum going right underneath the bench. And once again, though, duress by Howie Long, Nolan Harrison, and number 99 is the one who hits him late.
Well, that little shove came about 4 yards out of bounds.
Oh, there's no doubt it was a penalty. And believe me, that's going to get this crowd in this game.
That could turn the game around. A play like that, Pat, very easily could turn 30. Delay to Gaston Green, and he slips. He fell down trying to make the cut just inside the 29-yard line. Going back to our Silver Bullet scoreboard, the Falcons beating the Jets. Nagel had a big game even though he lost.
That's the biggest surprise of the day to me.
Yeah, Moon interceptors defeated the Cardinals. 49ers over the Giants. Giants defeated the 49ers the first game last year. 2nd and 9. Backside, he's hit, but he got it off to Kay. Clarence Kay with a big collision. Stays on his feet. He's to the 20-yard line. What a collision. Kay now is shaken up.
There were a couple collisions, Gary, quite honestly, and John Elway took one again from the backside.
It was Bruce who caught him from behind.
Yeah.
Andre Bruce.
Collisions. One right here, it's the offensive or tackle Russell Freeman and Andre Bruce, who's going to sack or hit John Elway from the backside. A good fake, a little head and shoulder fake by Bruce. Elway gets drilled, and then watch Ronnie Lott. Boom. Ouch. Headache for both of them. But Clarence Kay knows his team is down by 6 points. It keeps turning and spinning. And here's Ronnie Lott. This guy has done this for 12 years.
Well, Kay was down for a while, but he got up and walked off on his own power. First down at the 20. Perriman in motion. This is Greg Lewis. You can hear the popping clear up here. Howie Long was there to make the stop.
Well, you know, Clarence Kay is out. They've got Chuck Johnson, a tackle, playing tight end now.
Well, they're down. They've got Shannon Sharp, Reggie Johnson can't play, and Clarence Kay.
Watch Ronnie Lott. Again, he has such anticipation. Some say maybe he guesses too much these days, but he does so much film study, and he knows tendencies, and he anticipates and makes plays like that.
There's a lot of collisions taking place right now, as you might expect. It's going to be 4th down, so it'll be a 38-yard field goal attempt coming up. Treadwell will attempt his first. Earlier, Galuiso attempted one from 54 yards. It was blocked.
Well, just like we said at the beginning of the game, we felt this was going to be a 4th quarter game with 1 second remaining in the 3rd quarter. This game of Denver a year ago. Here's Steve Ortmeyer, the special teams coach of the Raiders. The Raiders do a great job of getting their tall guys inside and hands up.
38-yard attempt. And this kick is going to go through the uprights and cut it to 3 as we come to the end of the 3rd quarter. So Treadwell makes it a 13-10 football game. We have that 4th quarter that Pat was talking about coming up. There are these two AFC West rivals. Have cut it to 3 as we start this 4th quarter, and this crowd has come alive. It's been an uphill struggle for Elway and Dan Reeves, but they're still very much in it, and it's so typical of how this series has been going.
It's going to come down the 4th quarter to a turnover, to a special teams play, just as we said at the very beginning of the broadcast.
Galuiso will kick off. And Land will return it. Nope, they'll go to a knee, so they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Next Sunday, our NFL coverage continues here on TNT as we go to Tempe, Arizona to bring you the Cardinals and Eagles. Our stadium show beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time. Bob Neal, Kevin Kiley, Ken Stabler, and Ernie Johnson will update you on all of the action in the second week. And then Pat and I will bring you the play-by-play beginning at 8 Eastern. Be sure to join us as Randall Cunningham and company comes to Sun Devil Stadium.
Gary, flip it over now. You're Jay Schrader. Okay, you was interesting the Broncos go back and score. All he's thinking about right now is grinding out a first down or 2. That's all he wants.
He has Galt and Brown split out. Smith and Dickerson in the backfield. Schrader double, triple pumping, and nobody was open. Ethan Horton was covered by Kroll. Kroll had him blanketed all the way. There was nothing there.
Well, really surprised by the call, as well as the Raiders have been running the football, as well as Eric Dickerson seems to be gathering momentum. You know, you're trying to take the crowd out. We've had success running inside with Eric Dickerson.
2nd down and 10 from the 20-yard line.
And an I formation. Every time they've been in the I, they've given the ball to Dickerson.
Schrader's hit only one of his last 7 pass attempts.
It's an audible.
Green running up, yelling out his calls. A busted play. And Burnett makes him pay for it. Schrader went one way, the back's the other. Lost back to the 16.
You know, one of the things about playing at Mile High Stadium, I really believe, is you have to have plays that can work against all kinds of defense. It's tough to call audibles when the crowd is into it here. They weren't till just a few moments ago, but now they're in it.
We talked to Schrader. He didn't seem to be that concerned about it. In the pregame, we were down on the field. He said, no, this isn't that tough, but it may be tougher, and he remembers.
It is loud right now, and remember, other guys have to hear him.
3rd and 14. Schrader going up top to Galt, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lyman Henderson. What a play by Henderson. He really went airborne to get up, and that is the 4th turnover for the Raiders tonight.
Wow. You talk about a perfectly timed jump by Henderson. The problem was, though, and the reason the ball was intercepted, a rush by Jay Schrader, prevented him from following through, Gary. He couldn't get the ball deep to Willie Galt that he wanted. It was the rush that caused the interception.
Well, they didn't have an interception in the preseason, but they get one here. Now the line of scrimmage, the 44. Gaston Green in the backfield along with Perriman. Elway going for all of it. Jackson's down there. Lionel Washington almost has an interception. That ball not thrown all that well. Jackson had him beat. Now Washington is down. He hit the dirt portion of the field and getting up shaky.
He's just upset with himself. But, you know, defensive backs aren't used to making adjustments like that and then making the catch. Receivers are. Good coverage and a good adjustment by Lionel Washington. But they aren't used to making those kind of plays.
Boy, he did hit hard, though, didn't he?
Yeah. The Raider corners, quite honestly, don't make a lot of interceptions because of that bump and run. They have their back to the quarterback a lot.
2nd and 10. Green in the backfield. 14:04 left in the game. The Raiders by 3. Elway over the middle. Jackson can't handle it. Thrown a little behind him. And then on the deflection, could not hang on.
That game we all grew up with when we were 6th or 7th grade, and then make something happen.
The Sandlot game?
Yeah.
0 for 7. You can see on that graphic on 3rd down conversions. Pressure coming. Elway alerts it. A flag as he throws up the field, and the catch is made by Marshall. Marshall grounded at the 15, but what's this flag all about? It's holding, so they'll bring it back. 29-yard ad-lib effort by John Elway will come back.
Well, what distinguishes John Elway on his scramble is his strength. Guys can't throw the ball.
Number 67 of the offense. 10 yards, still 3rd down.
Throw the ball with the velocity.
Doug Wydell was guilty.
That's right. It's the right guard right there that was the guilty party, as you're going to watch this. But what makes, I think, Elway unique, say, from Randall Cunningham is going to take this ball and run and make a big play. But Elway on the scramble is always looking to throw the ball. And one of his receivers always goes deep, and one works back to the ball.
And the one that worked back was Marshall. But they come back after the penalty to the 46 of Denver. 3rd and 20 now. Stepping up again. gets away from Wallace, who's the spy, and throws it up the field, and it's incomplete. Almost caught by Natil as Lionel Washington was there. You saw the spy working there as you saw Aaron Wallace staying with Elway on that play.
Yeah, and Elway still shakes him off. I mean, when the Raiders play against John Elway, they take a guy on 3rd and long, like that time was Aaron Wallace, and say your responsibility is to take John Elway when he scrambles out of the pocket.
Or to spy on it.
Yeah.
I love that. To spy on it. Horan now to punt from the 31 to Brown. So they still have not converted a 3rd down. Horan trying to kick away from Brown. That was the strategy he wanted. Brown will have a return here. Look at it. Look at it. Horan tries to make the tackle. And finally, he's caught by Mills. Jeff Mills got him at the 47-yard line. 40-yard return after a 46-yard punt. We have guys strewn across the field. One Raiders down at the 21-yard line.
I tell you, this is a sensational play by Tim Brown, but it was set up by a block by Dave Waymer on the left part of the screen there. But the thing about Tim Brown, what he has always done is he goes right up that middle, doesn't take any time, and he makes a lot of people miss and has a strength to run through some tackles as well.
Hayden, just a moment ago, Tim Brown with a 40-yard punt return, giving the Raiders excellent field position at the 48.
But what you didn't see was the block by number 25, Dan Land, and then number 44 right there, Dave Waymer. Now that gave Tim Brown a clean shot, plenty of time to catch the ball, and that set up the return. Just one of those things away from the ball that turned into big plays.
What they try to do is gun down the gunner, the guy that's getting up the field, try to slow him up, and you had a good replay of it there. You know what's amazing? Denver's forced 4 turnovers in this game, yet they scored only 7 points.
But their offense has not scored a touchdown.
From the 48 now, the Raiders start this one. Smith may be coming on the blitz, then he backs out. Hand off to Bell. Bell across the 50. The ball comes loose. The ball is loose.
That is down.
Yep, it has been ruled down. It'll be Los Angeles' ball there at the 50-yard line.
I really believe that every time the Denver Broncos see the Raiders in the I formation, they're going to come up and blitz. You saw Dennis Smith come up there. Because I don't think I have seen the Raiders throw out of the I formation yet tonight.
You know, I'm sure Montgomery's playing a solid game, but you know Atwater would have loved this kind of game back there. There is Montgomery. He's playing well, but Atwater is as good at coming up, forcing on the run as anybody. 2nd and 8. Bell again. A lumbering back is able to spin his way short of the 45. Wyman Henderson, who had that brilliant interception earlier, comes up with the tackle.
12 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the game. The Raiders are up here by 3 points. And think what you have here. This is the time of the game where defenses get tired, particularly Denver that's been on the field so much. And you have guys like Nick Bell who will pound you. Then you bring in Eric Dickerson that maybe runs by you. I think the diversity in the Raider skilled positions is going to be the difference here in the 4th quarter.
And don't forget this high altitude also, though, can affect a team like the Raiders coming in. They have their dime package in now. On this 3rd down, the Broncos with extra defensive backs on a 3rd and 3. Schrader pumping it. He's got a running alley. He's got a 1st down. Everybody had cleared when he pumped, and then he ran for the 1st down.
Well, the Raiders try to run a little pick play. Oh, another hockey match breaking out. They were trying to get the ball to Tim Brown, who is their key guy on 3rd and 3 to 5. It was a pick play, a little hold there on, I think it was Cragen. It wasn't called. Schrader, for a big guy, has got some pretty good speed as well.
Reminds me of you when you were scrambling, same number.
The big part.
No, wait a minute, you were number 11. I'm sorry. How could I forget?
The big part of the scrambling part.
Schrader's changed his number this year. It's 13 a year ago. Wanted a fresh start. Dennis Smith jumping up. He's on the blitz. Hand off to Eric Dickerson, who's in the game. And Dickerson inside the 35. A gain of 3, maybe 4 yards.
Talking about that running game, the Raiders are averaging 4.2 yards a rush tonight.
Now, is this where Dickerson kicks it in?
Yeah, I think so. Well, this is still the question mark about Eric Dickerson. Remember, he hasn't played a full season the last 2 years, but the great runners in this time of the game, after that 18th carry, is when they start taking control of a ball game.
From the 35, 2nd and 7. Blitz is coming again, and Dickerson runs right into it.
Gary, it's the I formation. Every time they see that Dennis Smith, the strong safety's blitzing.
They stuffed that one all the way.
So they get Eric back there at 7 yards, and they've done nothing but hand him the ball. And every time they do that, Dennis Smith, the strong safety, blitzes.
Well, they've established a tendency. So do you do something a little different, a little wrinkle?
Maybe a play action pass off that formation. Dennis Smith is up there in the I formation. You can throw the ball over his head, I promise you.
3rd down and 12 yards to go. Allen is in the backfield. Schrader being flushed out and almost intercepted. Good play that time. It was Lilo Lang and also Michael Brooks. Double coverage that time over the middle, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
And again, good downfield coverage. One of the few times that the Denver Broncos have put a lot of pressure in the second half on Jay Schrader. Was put on by Simon Fletcher that time.
Lang's had a strong game. He had an interception earlier tonight.
And here's where Jeff Gossett can win football games for you by putting the ball out inside the 10-yard line.
One of the officials is standing over in the pylon expecting it in the left-hand corner. Let's see if he goes in. Nope, he's going to go to the other side.
Nope.
And he got too much on that one.
No.
He should have hit a 7-iron instead of a
the 5.
39-yard punt. Brings it out to the 20. And the Raiders leading the Broncos as the Broncos will have it at the 20-yard line. Be sure to stay with us now at the conclusion of tonight's game. Pat and I will pick tonight's McDonald's player of the game. With 9:37 left, Elway, who's done so well coming from behind, has got to do it again here. Here's the right hand off to Gaston Green. He squirts across the 25 to the 27, a gain of 7.
You know, we talked about runners getting in rhythm. Gaston Green had 6 runs over 40 yards last year, but they all came after the 20th carry. And again, that's what Gaston Green is now getting back into the rhythm of running.
He's carried the ball 10 times for 31 yards. Elway said we just got to give him some space to let him make one of those 60 or 70-yard runs. Second down, a long 2. Play action by Elway. Going for everything to Jackson and almost intercepted.
That is great coverage.
McDaniel was the guy there to make the cover on Mark Jackson.
Man, that is great coverage. Here's the play action fake again by John Elway, and he's very good at it. And you see Ronnie Lott, number 42, and it didn't really go for it, did he? But I'll tell you, then a strong arm of John Elway, and then the closing speed, the makeup speed of Terry McDaniel. Terry McDaniel just drops a lot of interceptions. Didn't have great hands, but boy, can he cover.
And so it's now a 3rd down again. The Broncos 0 for 8 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd and 2. And Elway will get his first down and then some. Running with the ball is Reggie Rivers. And the second-year man out of Southwest Texas State goes 24 yards on a fine catch and then run after the reception.
Well, Reggie Rivers is supposed to be Steve Sewell tonight. And it was a little kind of crossing route here. Look at Howie Long just pushing his man Wydell right back into the quarterback. But this is the guy who was filling in for Steve Sewell, the 3rd down back for Denver, and that's the first time they've been able to really get him the ball because the protection was reasonably good that time for Elway.
He had a brilliant game against Miami and Berlin, and that was what really elevated him in the minds of the coaches. That's the longest game by the Broncos. 24 yards. Gaston Green, a toss back. Elway. And it's intended for Ricky Natil, and again, they're not going to make the connection. A little toss back, flea flicker, if you will, and they're pulling out all the stops right now.
Yeah, but look who was back there covering. Ronnie Lott and Terry McDaniel. Two guys that have just not been fooled tonight. We just saw the play action fake a little bit earlier where Lott kind of went for it, then got back. See, Ronnie Lott comes up. Nope, then he's going to get back. See how 42 recovered? I mean, that's a pretty good play by Ronnie Lott.
Winston Moss got up in Elway's face on that play, too. Elway's only 1 of 6 passing, 1 of his last 6 completions. I should say attempts. Here's a handoff to Green again, and Green almost to the 45-yard line. Willie Broughton is there to make the tackle for the Raiders. So Elway has really had to work.
Who's played pretty well for the Broncos.
Jackson, Natil, split out. Also Russell. 4 wideouts. Elway on target. The catch is made. And again, they have a first down at the line. Marshall, the rookie free agent, with a 15-yard completion.
And held on to it for the first.
So surprise of the camp has delivered, as you mentioned. First down now at the 30-yard line. Herman in motion. End around to Jackson. Jackson. Pursuit is there. And Howie Long is there. Also Eddie Anderson. Anderson was there first. And then Howie Long, showing his quickness, followed up and cleaned up the play.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about Howie Long. I mean, you talk about guys who don't quit and don't stop. Let's take a look at here. Here is Eddie Anderson right there. He's the guy that ultimately is going to make the play. But Howie Long, there's no quit in him as well. Number 75. Pretty good job by Aaron Wallace. Yeah, the safeties of the Raiders are good tacklers. They really
Anderson's like a linebacker the way he comes up there. Second down, a loss of a yard. 2nd and 11. Aston Green makes the first man miss, but not Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott, who led the NFL in interceptions last year with 8. He still just kind of blows people up, doesn't he, when he hits them?
But I'll tell you who gave him a chance. It was number 56, Andre Bruce. Andre Bruce set Ronnie Lott up. And when your defense is playing well, some guys are going to make tackles and other guys are going to set them up. And Andre Bruce did it there. Watch number 56, bottom of the screen. He's a guy who takes out two guys. And that allowed Ronnie Lott and Winston Moss to make the play.
So they've lost yardage on their first 2 plays. It's 3rd and 14 now for Denver. They need to get just to about the 20 for a first down. Elway. Intercepted. It's picked off by Eddie Anderson, the man we were talking about a while ago. And Anderson is going to return this one to the 25 and sits down at the 30-yard line. That play just didn't look good. The ball was thrown as an end result. Anderson, who wanted us to say hello to his mother, who's celebrating her birthday today, gave her a pretty nice birthday present.
Birthday present for Mom. But again, this was just a poorly thrown ball. You can't throw that deep and keep the ball in the air that long with a free safety like Eddie Anderson back there.
So Anderson, on a pass intended for Marshall, returns it the other way. Picking off the pass, the 3rd turnover by Denver. Los Angeles with 4, and the Raiders hand the ball at the 30. 13-10, they lead it. 5:01 left in the game. Eric Dickerson tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Ron Holmes was there.
Gary, the Raiders got a break. Let's go back to the last play and look at the interception by Eddie Anderson. And you're going to watch his feet because he's out of bounds after the catch. He makes the interception, but on the return, you're going to see him step out right there. He is out of bounds.
And look at this angle. Shows it even more, Pat.
Yeah, right there again. Now, again, the instant replay no longer here. The referee is right there, the umpire.
It'll be back next year. 2nd and 15 now after that tackle by Holmes. Schrader. Up the middle, deflected. Nice deflection. And that was Wyman Henderson, who had an interception earlier. That ball was on a rope.
Yeah.
Did he steam that one up the middle?
Jay Schrader's got a big-time arm. What he's got to remember here, too, he's still playing with a lead.
He's playing with a lead, but not really doing an awful lot. He has not completed a pass since 56 seconds were left in the first half.
But you know what? It's okay. His defense is going to win this. Jay Schrader is not going to win the game, quite honestly. It's going to be his defense.
Marcus Allen in the backfield. 3rd and 15. Schrader, he got the completion made to Tim Brown, and Brown out to the 48-yard line. That's a big, big play. A 23-yard gain. As we approach 4 minutes, they dig themselves out of what could have been a very tough situation.
You know, every team has a go-to receiver. It was Tom Waddle today for the Chicago Bears when they win with 1 second remaining. On 3rd down for the Raiders, the last 2 years, it has been Tim Brown. It has been somewhat of a tendency, but nonetheless, he can make plays like this. You give him a chance.
You like those kind of tendencies, don't you?
Yeah.
He wants to play every down, but he's so valuable to this team coming in, don't you think?
Well, I mean, I think he's good enough clearly to be an every down player. I mean, if you're not getting production out of some people, he should be perhaps an every down player.
A first down at the 48. Dickerson, that cutback ability of his, backs across the 50 to the 48. You know, Schrader has not completed very many passes, but when he has, they've been of the long variety. His pass completions have averaged 27 yards.
You know, Art Shell's team, and in particular Eric Dickerson, has had a tough go at the second half.
Timeout number 2 for Denver. It'll be a 40-second timeout.
That'll leave Denver with 1 then.
Just going back to Eric Dickerson, and we said, hey, does he still have the explosion? I'm not sure he's getting the opportunity to do that right now because of some of the tendencies the Raiders are showing.
Well, also, don't forget, Denver has a good defense. I mean, this is the top-ranked defense last year in the AFC. They've just been out there too much, and they have not gotten the offensive output. The only touchdown scored by Denver was by the defense. Coming up, the post-game stadium show. Bob Neal, along with Kevin Kiley, the Snake Stabler, who I'm sure is watching this Raider game with a great deal of interest. Ernie Johnson.
You know, there's an old water boy. There he is, Run, they call him. 20 years he's been the water boy for the Raiders. The oldest in the league, 62 years old, hired by John Madden.
Run, huh?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Here's Dickerson again. Dickerson running into a lot of congestion at the 48-yard line, as we now have about 3 minutes left, and we have another stoppage of the clock. And Denver's using their final timeout.
Well, I don't understand the use of these timeouts just yet, quite honestly. This is awfully early to be using your timeouts. 3 minutes. Am I reading the clock?
Yep, 3:02.
3:02 remaining, and now Denver is out of timeouts.
Well, we're going to have coming up a 3rd down and 5. They hope to get it after this play.
Okay, now 3rd and 5, the Raiders will feature Brown, but Denver knows that. They will double cover Tim Brown.
Something we might keep in mind in the playoffs against Houston here last year. Elway took him the length of the field. No timeouts remaining then. Remember that? 2 minutes and 7 seconds left. Maybe they want to repeat that. Think they can pull it off again. I wouldn't bet against Elway.
Well, you know, this is a guy who's had more comebacks than Richard Nixon, John Elway. You remember him, don't you?
I'm not going to laugh at those anymore.
I know. I apologize.
3rd down and 5. Everybody up on that line of scrimmage, but 2 players. And he gets it to Smith, and Smith cannot hang on. I don't know that he'd gotten enough for the first down, but what happens is he stopped the clock. He stopped the clock on that incomplete pass at 2:57.
Okay, here again. You're right. Even if he had caught this ball, I think there was a Denver defender right there, Henderson, number 24, who would have made the play. So it wouldn't have been a first down. But let's go back to the special teams we talked about, too. And Jeff Gossett, here he is. The last time he punted this ball into the end zone, which is very unlike Jeff Gossett. This is a play. If the Raiders are going to win this game, I believe he has to get inside the 10-yard line and out of bounds.
Turk with the snap. There's that strategic punch you were talking about. He didn't get it quite where
it's okay.
It's outside the 10. Where are they going to mark this? Let's watch.
Who knows? Probably
still walking. Still
the
walking.
45.
And he's going to bring it out to the 15. Well, they've been so close these games. This series has been something special as far as being close. Look at this. Total margin, 15 points in the last 5 years.
Well, you know, they play like that. You know, Art Shell came in with a specific game plan to make it a fourth quarter game. You know, Dan Reeves wanted to have it a close ball game in the end. So the play selection has been like that. And when your defenses play as well as these two teams do, you're going to have close fourth quarter games.
Well, 19 times in his career, this guy has rallied the team in fourth quarter comebacks to win it. Can he do it again? 2:51 left, no timeouts left, starting from the 20. Well, that's a start. Mark Jackson with a catch, first down to the 30.
You can make a compelling argument that John Elway is the most dangerous 2-minute quarterback in football. You'll have an argument with some people because of his ability to run and throw the ball with velocity on the run. He's the most dangerous.
Low snap, comes out again. Marshall with a catch, just about a yard short of the first down. He was trying to get out of bounds. He could not. The clock continues to run. 9-yard gain on the play. Second down coming up. They'll have the 2-minute warning, of course, so we'll stop the clock. And he's going to sneak this one. Elway gets a first down, and that will take him to the 2-minute warning. And they're going to line up, but they won't get another snap. 2 minutes to go. Can Elway pull off another miracle? He's done it so often. I think the fans here believe he can. Score. The Broncos with the football at their own 44. They have no timeouts remaining. Elway with 4 wideouts. Pressure coming from Howie Long. They take him off of him. He throws up the field to Marshall. He can't get it.
Yes.
Almost at the 15-yard line. Coverage that time by Torrin Dorn, third-year man out of North Carolina that got there.
You know, between Elway, with a flick of his wrist, this ball goes 50. He feels like he's getting sacked about 10 times. And this is the nickelback, Torrin Dorn, who makes the play there. We've seen it from Lionel Washington. We've seen it from Terry McDaniel. And we've seen it from Torrin Dorn.
And then we had a pick off by Anderson.
Yeah.
Stop the clock, 1:53. Second down, 10. Blitz coming. McDaniel, he got away from him. What presence of mind. He gets it to Marshall. Marshall makes a move. He's for the 20, the 15, the 10. A tackle to the 8-yard line.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
49 yards.
Don't you love it?
Anderson is down.
And disappointed.
And also Derek Russell.
You know, with the no timeouts, too, I think he is going to have to throw the ball here or run a quarterback draw.
The clock should be at 1:20.
They're taking some time off the clock, are they?
Yes.
1:28 rather than 1:38. Those are 10 precious seconds right now.
Yeah. John Elway has run an awful lot of quarterback draws down here inside the 10-yard line for touchdown.
First and goal at the 8-yard line. Green and Perriman in the backfield. Jackson in motion. Play action by Elway. End zone. Almost intercepted by McDaniel. And now a flag. 2 of them.
That one was interference. That one was interference. And Art Shell's got to be start.
It'll be first and goal at the 1.
Pass interference. Number 36 on the defense. The ball will be placed on the 1-yard line.
I think McDaniel, number 36, gets fooled because Elway generally drills the ball. Because his ball was kind of lofted, it got there much slower than an ordinary Elway pass, and I think that caused the pass interference.
First and goal at the 1. Lewis and Perriman in the backfield. Yes, they did, as Perriman tried to go airborne over the middle. It looked like the man in the slot moved.
Or on the right side there. I thought somebody on the right side.
Was it the right side as well? Let's look at it.
Right side of the offensive line moved early. He definitely didn't get in.
Well, they're leaving the ball at the 1-yard line.
Again, the Raiders want the timeout now.
Yeah, the Raiders trying to get it. They're not going to get it now.
Shake it off.
1:06 left. Second and goal at the 1. Rivers, touchdown, Denver. And Elway has done it again.
That was a great call by Dan Reeves and George Henshaw, the offensive coordinator. A great call.
(16-13). They need this one to take the lead and not let a field goal time up, and they do. 7 plays, 85 yards.
And Gary, this was a great call because in goal line defense, everybody reacts to the first fake. They fake inside, they come back on the reverse to Reggie Rivers, and goal line defense is about being aggressive, and they caught the Raiders in a very aggressive defense, and he walks in.
Davidson was pulling out ahead of him, and Rivers, who made a big catch, you might recall earlier in this game, scores a touchdown. And Elway saying, I've been here before, and I know how to do this and do it well.
What did Al Davis say to you at halftime again?
He said, we've had Elway with those bad numbers at halftime before, where it looked like he wasn't going to get anything done, and he comes back and beats us. And there is Al Davis, and he may have been more of a prophet than he wanted to be. Grady and Galt, they're 2 speed merchants back for this kickoff.
Raiders still have time, plenty of time, and 3 timeouts.
This place is bedlam right now. Aliuso, beautiful kickoff. You can't kick it any better than that. Just no chance for a return. That'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
Gary, in this situation with this crowd in this thing right now, Jay Schrader cannot call audibles. So you have to have a play call that will work against any defense you're going to get from Denver.
55 seconds, 3 timeouts left. He's 80 yards away. Schrader with a lot of time, and he makes the connection for the first down. Willie Galt rolls up at the 39. 19-yard gain. Clock running 42 seconds. It's not going to be a field goal of any importance, which that extra point a moment ago made so big. They need to score a touchdown. 32 seconds left. Dennis Smith. Smith over there reacting so well. He has had a fantastic football game.
What Elway is to their offense, Dennis Smith tonight certainly has been to their defense. He has stuffed the run. He has read the tendencies on I formation of it up the line of scrimmage, and has been deep when he's had to be and saved the game like that.
Galt, the intended receiver, stops the clock with 27 seconds.
This is where the Raiders have to get the ball to a Grady or a Brown or a Galt on the move on a crossing route.
Second down and 10. Schrader, intended for Ethan Horton. Check that. Fernandez, who went high, could not come down with it. Good coverage by Denver.
But Gary, see, a hook route is not going to do it. You have 21 seconds. A hook route, you're going to catch it and you're going to get tackled. You have to be running away from the defender to score here. And that's what the Raiders need. They need to get the ball to a receiver on the move and let him run away from the defense.
Schrader this half, 2 of 9. The Broncos trying to break a 5-game losing streak to the Raiders. On a third down 10. Schrader, he fumbles it. It's picked up. Michael Brooks, who started the game with a fumble recovery for a touchdown, comes up with it.
The difference between these two teams is the Denver Broncos have a quarterback that can carry a team when they need it and win. Jay Schrader, who played well at times and threw a couple of good deep balls, was not able to do it in the clutch as Elway did.
Can Todd Marinovich?
But they're going to be asking that question, I'm sure, this week.
And so with 10 seconds left, the Broncos will end this 5-game losing streak. And as we said at the top of this broadcast, so huge a game like this, winning on opening day. The last 4 years, 23 of the 24 division champs won on opening day. The only team that didn't was Detroit. And the Broncos have won it 17-13.